And here's the deal. When did he come up with this plan? Oh, this fascinates me. I think about this constantly. He came up with this plan way before he ever made anything. And he's so incredible. One of the things I love about God is not only did he come up with this plan, he created it in his mind and finished it before he ever started it.
Yeah.
He baffles me all the time. I love to think about things like this. I love to talk about it. There's probably a few of you in here tonight with a sort of an odd mind like mine. I like to think about things like, say for instance, it's easy to think about God in the now and eternity future. But think about him in eternity past. What about the time that he first came up with this plan? Go back to eternity past. He's created nothing yet. Let's just imagine this. There's no earth, there's no stars, there's no angels, there's no devil, there's no you, there's no Adam, there's no nothing, there's no nobody. It's God, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost by themselves. God, 3 in 1. 3. Comes up with this ultimate plan that he would do exactly what I just said. Raise up for himself a people that would choose him and love him and ultimately bring everything under the authority of Christ. And the interesting thing is, I'm just going to have to skip through this fast. I ain't got time to go through all that. But if you think about it, according to the Word, in that time of planning, you were there. You've already been with God. That's so amazing to me. You were so there that not only were there, he already knew you, named you, destined you, purposed you, and loved you. Yeah. How do I know he loved you? Because the Lamb was slain before the foundation of the world. He would devise this plan that all things were coming under the authority of Christ, everything in heaven and earth, by a people who chose to love him. And I'm just squeezing this all together into one little frame. And so all of this huge plan that he has, he would devise this thing to where he would squeeze it all into something that he would invent and call time. And so once he finishes the plan, the Lamb is slain. Once the whole thing is finished and devised, he will reach his hand across the spans of eternity, so to speak, and touch the hand of time and speak the words in the beginning. And we hear the first tick, tick, tick. And then he begins to create all that he has planned and dreamed. He begins to send those to the earth that he has destined and purposed to come. All that he has put in you, and all of, they say, about 10 billion people that's lived on this planet, as they are needed for their time and for their destiny to be fulfilled, he sends them to the earth for their time in order to fulfill the ultimate purpose that he has. So when God starts this whole thing, for instance, let's say when it comes time for the first man and the plan begins, he will reach within his own mind and say, Adam. And Adam comes to the earth, fulfills his purpose, and leaves. When God, let's just move quick. When God needs a deliverer, he'll call for the man Moses that he's already named. Moses will come to the earth, fulfill his purpose, and leave. When God needs a worshiping warrior, he'll call for David. David will come to the earth, fulfill his purpose, and leave. When God needs a man that he could whisper his secrets to or dream his dreams at night, he will reach within himself and call for the man Daniel, who would come to the earth, fulfill his purpose, and leave. When God needs a man to go preach in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, with locusts and wild honey hanging off of his beard, he'll reach within himself and call for a man, John the Baptist, who will come to the earth, fulfill his purpose, and leave. When God needs a man to miraculously, who would come to the earth, fulfill purpose, and lead. When God needs a woman who could be a healer on the earth, He'll call for the woman Catherine Kuhlman, who would come to the earth, fulfill purpose, and lead. When God needs a teacher to preach the message of the kingdom and healing to His people, He'll call for the man Bill Johnson, who would come to the earth, fulfill purpose, and lead. When God needs a man to love a generation, He'll reach in His heart and say the name Banning and send him to the earth to fulfill purpose and someday leave. What am I saying? I'm saying this is it for you. I'm saying the whole crux of the matter for you is that you have come from God to live for God, to go back to God. That's just everything. That's what it all boils down. Your whole life, you've come from God to live for God, to go back to God. In other words, this is it, honey. This is your time. This is it. It's so much, everything just hinging on this moment that you're sitting in right now. So much weighing on, like they say, if you look at a tombstone, you'll see the year someone was born, you'll see the year the person died, and then you'll see the little dash in the middle. Everything I'm talking about for you tonight is what you're doing with that little dash in the middle. That's why the word of the Lord for me to say to you tonight was this: don't waste your time. This little block of time that you've been given to come to this earth to fulfill the purpose that He put in you before He ever created the earth. You cannot afford to waste or lose your time. Everything is determined by it. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Everything is determined by this moment for you. Where you will spend eternity and how you will spend eternity. You don't get plan B or second chance like some of you are living like you do. You think you do. Some of you are living like, oh, if I miss it this time, we'll try it again. There ain't no try it again. This is it. Say it. This is it.
This is it.
That's why it's critical that you not just stand in this place and be around it and it not sink into everything that you are. You cannot afford to be distracted because the enemy knows that for most of you in this room, he's already lost you to salvation. The enemy knows, Satan knows that for most of you in this place, your name is already written in heaven. And since he's already lost you to salvation, the next best thing for him is to destroy your purpose and keep you from ever fulfilling it.
True.
Because here's the deal, guys. What Satan is really after, ultimately, is that ultimate plan. That at the right time, he will bring everything together under the authority of Christ, everything in heaven and earth. Ultimately,